It's absolutely wild. The researchers have found parasitic rat brainworms in the metro Atlanta area. No, this is not neurocytosis, which is parasitic brainworms that you can get if you eat raw or uncooked pork. I'm actually talking about a parasitic infection called, which researchers said that about 20% of brown rat in the Atlanta area actually contain this deadly parasite. These parasitic brainworms go from rat to snails or slugs to humans that then travel to the brain, causing a life-threatening infection called angiostrongylosis, otherwise known as eosinophilic meningitis. It is rare but very fatal, and unfortunately there is no treatment. Fortunately, researchers now believe that what was once rare in the southeastern United States is now becoming more common, and eventually we will have a rise of these infections in that region. So this is what you should know. These worms, larvae, or eggs from these parasites grow in the rat's lungs, called rat lungworms, and then eventually these rats cough it up and they ingest it. So it goes into their gastrointestinal system, they excrete it, and the feces is consumed then by snails or slugs. They become intermediate hosts. Then we become accidental hosts by either eating the snails or slugs, or sometimes if we accidentally eat vegetables that has been contaminated by snails or slugs, we could also get this parasitic infection. And often it's going to be asymptomatic, but then it could go to the brain, and that is when it's deadly. Oftentimes, most people will have nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, and then eventually this parasite will die on its own. But when it goes to the brain, that could be fatal because, again, there is no treatment. Usually the symptoms start with fever, headache, neck stiffness, confusion, that then eventually will lead to coma and eventually seizures or even death. I'm not trying to fearmonger you all. I'm just trying to educate you guys to make sure you stay away from any snails or slugs, as well as any vegetation that might be contaminated by these things, and stay safe out there.